Hello, I'm Simon. Welcome to the field. I thought I would make a video about ragwort. I've had to reassess my opinions about ragwort in the light of new evidence. So I'm going to tell you the story. Ragwort is this thing. There you go. I mean, it looks like a 6-year-old's idea of a flower, doesn't it? So those are quite small, but they can grow to like 5 foot tall, 1.5 meters tall. And if we look around, there is not much evidence of yellow ragwort sticking up. Now the reason for this is that I've been on a campaign of eradicating ragwort, and I thought that was my civic duty, because ragwort is invasive, right? Ragwort poisons horses, right? Ragwort can spread like wildfire if you're not careful, right? And all of these things turn out to be not so much. So yeah, it's kind of annoying because I've spent hours this year, about 6 hours, because it wasn't so bad. But when I arrived at this field and started attending regularly, there was an infestation of ragwort. There was lots of it, and so I set about calming it down. And I had a little bit of success. So that this year, like I say, it only took me 6 hours to dig up the ragwort. And if you do have an infestation, there's loads and loads of it. I think that's probably you want to probably get rid of some of it. But I'm not going to bother anymore. I'm leaning heavily on one particular website, which I will link to and put a picture of over there, that goes through all of these points really well, and links to evidence, with quite a few scientific papers. So here is my ragwort tool. There it is. I got it from Amazon because I thought I had a ragwort problem and I thought I'd better deal with it. Neighbours, residential neighbours, talked to me about ragwort and a bit of finger wagging. And there is a horse field next door. So, yeah, I thought I'd better do something. Also, and this is the weirdest thing, my dad, who was a rational man and a heck of a scientist in his day, my dad told me that ragwort needed to be managed. And because he was my dad and because he's a good scientist, I thought, all right, well, I'll do that then. And turns out they were wrong. How did this all happen? How did many of us come to believe things that are wrong? Well, this website I've been talking about traces it back to the early 90s, and a horse magazine that started producing anti-ragwort propaganda. And so, all right, invasive. Not so much. It's been here since the Ice Age. It developed along every other grassland plant in the UK. Not invasive. It's not from somewhere else. It is invasive in New Zealand, where it's not native, and they're having trouble with it. What they've found in a rather interesting scientific paper that I skimmed and is linked on this Ragwort Myths website. What they found there is that it doesn't spread like wildfire. So ragwort produces sort of dandelion or thistle-like seeds, and they found that they only travel typically 5 meters, unless there's some really unusual atmospheric situation. So it doesn't spread like wildfire. It's not invasive. It's a natural grassland plant in the UK. Toxic to horses? Well, yes. If horses would eat it. It's bitter. And I saw a picture of a horse paddock with a single ragwort plant growing in it that the horses had avoided, which is apparently what they tend to do. And even if a horse was going to eat some ragwort, it would need to eat shopping bags full of the stuff, kilos of the stuff, to make any difference and to actually cause it any problem. So there you go. This year I found out about all this just after I'd been around digging it up. So unless I get a really bad infestation, I'm not going to bother, and I'm going to try to learn to love ragwort again, starting next year. However, if you do have loads of ragwort and you want to calm it down a bit, you have 2 choices. One, you can use a herbicide. The problem with that is that you will inevitably hit plants you don't want to, because you have to get it in its flat form, right? If you dig it up, you have to be careful, apparently, because if there's a bit of root left in the ground, it can grow a new plant from that. So yeah, watch out for that. Maybe I've been lucky, but I found that tool works pretty well, and I don't think I've had an awful lot of roots growing back new plants. So that I recommend that tool if you have a serious ragwort problem. The other thing you can do is just let it go to seed, because the plant dies once it's seeded, and make sure the seeds don't disperse too widely. And then next year you should find less of a problem. Yeah, so ragwort. Well, I'm trying to rehabilitate ragwort into my plant lexicon, and I just thought I'd share this with you because, I think of myself as a rational bloke. I think of myself as knowing what's what, and I've been swept along with the ragwort paranoia train along with everyone else. So I'm just putting this out there. If you come across ragwort, don't panic, it's fine. There are creatures that love ragwort, including the cinnabar moth, which is a very attractive red and black moth, whose larvae, who are kind of rather playfully Tigger in colour, yeah, their larvae rely on this plant. It's all they eat. So there's a very close ecological relationship there. And here are some of the cinnabar moth caterpillars. Those stripy chaps. There's a couple on there. There you go. Yeah. Also, there are several beetles that dig this plant too. And you can find more information on all of this if you search for Ragwort facts or Ragwort myths, or copy and paste the address that I'll put in the comments below. So yeah, Ragwort. Don't panic. It's fine. It's a bit weird looking, isn't it? It's a bit weird looking, but it's all right. There you go. So, see you next time. Thanks for watching, and you be really nice to yourself, all right, and then go and be nice to somebody else. Ta-ra.